Hello everyone, I am Renowned Zero and we are back again talking about more detractors. Actually, we're talking mainly about Tony Isabella, who issues an apology after talking a bunch of noise about Eric July and getting completely destroyed and monetized as the hater that he is by Eric July himself and probably soon to be me. But before we get started here, just going to give a quick update on the ISOM number 2 campaign. Currently sitting at $2.034 million with 11,114 cover A sold, 11,535 cover B sold, 3,660 cover C sold, and 1,805 cover D sold, with 1,958 total books donated, 6,833 total purchasers. We're going to go through these tweets over here from the Rippaverse Goalposts Twitter account saying, update, Tony Isabella, creator of Black Lightning, apologized to his followers for distracting them with his attempt to cancel Eric July from San Diego Comic-Con, renewing his commitment to remain on the, quote, right side of history, which you will never be on the right side of history because you think trans kids exist. I'm sorry, they just don't. It's a delusion that people like you have in your head, similar to Eric is another one that has that same weird delusion in his head. Let's go ahead and start reading. I made a mistake. Early one morning, still groggy from a restless night. Of course, he's going to throw the excuse in. It's like the whole, oh, I was drunk type of excuse. I posted that CGC and Comic-Con should not have supported an unsavory individual. It's not that the person isn't unsavory, but it was none of my business, and I regret that. It really wasn't any of your business. And clearly no one thinks you're relevant anymore. I don't regret my assessment of this person's character or those of the Comicsgate goons who support him and his ilk. So it's not really an apology because you're not really taking back what you said. But it wasn't my business, and it was a distraction from my own work that no one cares about. I should have known better. I know what Comicsgate supporters are. I also know that their power is in their heads. They can annoy me and others, sure, but ultimately they will be consigned to the dustbin of history. So the supporters of Comicsgate, who are just people that simply want better for their industry that they like, better for the industry they like, and want comics to be fun and entertainment and not essentially comics that preach to you and tell you you're a piece of garbage, yeah, that's somehow a bad thing. I'm more comfortable writing about the good things in comics and will continue doing that. I'll also keep doing what I can for the innocent people being attacked by the criminal, treasonous right wing. Because apparently, Eric July is right wing, which is weird. I apologize for the distraction and will renew my own commitment to remaining on the right side of history, with thanks for those of you join me on the side of good, which is no one because you have 39 likes. Congratulations. No one gives a crap what you have to say, in all honesty. We got Andrew, pretty sure his ass takes up both sides of history. We got Crystal Chloe saying, I just love the, quote, I don't regret my assessment of his character bit. Bro, just say it outright. You regret that your attempt to deplatform him didn't work. You thought everyone would rally behind you because you were the, quote, good guy. The former Nazi leaders were also unapologetic and saw themselves on the, quote, right side of history. But I'm sure Tony is simply following orders. Translation, quote, I bit off more than I could chew in my hubris and arrogance, and thus I'm backing away from my mistake without admitting said mistake to be once again relegated back into obscurity. I don't believe a word of what that guy Tony says. I have a feeling he's going to show his true colors soon enough. Poor guy, quote, the right side of history. We all know how this story pans out. Tony Isabella, you arrogant bigot. What a clown. He realized he completely obliterated his legacy by coming off as a salty knob, going after Eric in an attempt for cheap clout without reading the room, just like a certain Diet Coke enthusiast out there. It's a shame because Black Lightning was a character I grew up with. Quote, I didn't get my way, so let's pretend it never happened. Sounds about right. I apologize, but not really. What a clown. The right side of history is going to end in comics, and it will be history. No, Tony, you're a woke bigot that tried to have a very successful independent comic creator, black businessman, removed from a con space because you hate black people. Apologize to Eric July. Tony, not your woke whisper network. You're scared we'll cancel you. When people say they're on the right side of history, they often aren't. That's true. Oh, fuck. He's one of those I'm on the right side of history fakers. This is like the fakest thing to say in my life. Lol, his quote fans are going to check out Rippaverse and buy some books. That's free advertising. White guy tried to ruin a black creator, claims they're on the right side of history. that could be a new world record for the most unapologetic apologies. And it just keeps going on about essentially getting dunked on as he should, because he tried very hard to cancel Eric July, which completely and utterly failed. And the only thing it did was make him more popular and more money. Moving on to more haters. Eric July's haters held a meeting in their secret Discord and agreed on the narrative that they will use to attack the Rippaverse after Joe Bennett Alpha Core number 1 announcement, which is the artist that Eric July hired for Alpha Core number 1, which is written by Chuck Dixon. Wow, I read this one yesterday, actually. Wow, you hired Dixon, who has been collaborating with an actual neo-Nazi, and then revealed the artist on Dixon's book is the guy who was fired from Marvel for putting, quote, anti-Semitic, quote, unquote, messages and his images in his background. That's not a good look. Wow, Eric. Again, no one cares what you have to say. You've been doubting Eric's success from the beginning, and you're continuing to eat crow. It's become very evident July is collecting every QAnon, Chuck Dixon, anti-Semite, Joe Bennett, and phobic Gabe Altair Pickett is discarded by the comics community and business. It's also funny the announcement is just missing a current paper to look like a proof of life video. So Eric literally hires only anti-Semites, making more and more sense about his character and why he's supported by guys like MOTS. Guy drones on and on about being Jewish while defending anti-Semites. Eric doesn't actually give a crap about what you weirdos have to say about certain people, even though majority of the time, I'd say 99% of the time, y'all are essentially lying about these different creators all the time. It's the same BS tactics that people like Dane and Bob from Organized Chaos and Eric like to use and think that somehow they're righteous in their quest to supposedly deplatform grifters, as they call it. Wait, the guy who got fired from Marvel for calling Jews rats? Not a brag, really. The anti-Semite? But in case you are familiar as to why Joe Bennett was available to be enlisted in July's bigotry corps, here's a helpful reminder for those who've forgotten or those who grifters count not knowing this history for profit. Again, these are the same people that cannot define what a grifter is. They just throw the word around and essentially means nothing because it's been so overused, it doesn't really matter. For folks who don't remember, this artist got fired from Marvel for drawing this in Immortal Hulk 43. Being a bigoted sack of crap is a prerequisite for doing work for the Rippaverse. And again, it's not going to stop the fans of Eric July from buying the book at all, because these people are just weirdos on Twitter. They're nobody special. They don't buy anything. They just sit on Twitter all day and complain about everything. A black libertarian hired a white supreme sympathizer and Latino anti-Semite to write a comic about a black superhero. That's all you need to know, y'all. So, again, you're an idiot. You're going to continue to be an idiot, and you're going to continue to ankle bite at someone who's more successful than you, bud. I'm sorry your comics or whatever you have going on are not doing very well, and you have to essentially try to gain some clout from Eric July. But they're not writing a comic about a black superhero. They're writing Alpha Core. Chuck Dixon is writing Alpha Core, and Joe Bennett is the artist for Alpha Core. I never realized that Alpha Core, any of the three members of Alpha Core, were black. Wow. Like, it's one thing to be a black conservative in comics. He's not. So it went from black libertarian to black conservative. So it just changed in a matter of 2 tweets. I understand you feel alienated because of this, but to hire known bigots like Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett sends a huge message. It sends a message that no one really gives a shit. Because true fans of comics know that y'all always lie about different people, and you call everything different words to try to fit some narrative into where everyone should hate these people. ISOM is Comicsgate's superhero, and this is what they think black superheroes should be. Cool and about family? Okay. ISOM is not made with a black audience in mind, because who cares? Yes, I know no Comicsgate book has any black audience in mind. They just make books that people want to buy. You're basically saying you should make a book that is only catering to a black audience. No. That's why the current comic industry sucks. Because they're trying to cater to people who don't buy comics or are broke as hell. and it will wash away any sort of authenticity. Yeah, just like Hollywood and current comics writers and artists who essentially race swap white characters to black characters because they only see legitimacy in black characters when they're originally race swapped that were originally white characters. Really, the irony of this is great. And ironically, Eric's voice as a black man has to what would make ISOM ISOM. And then these chuds clutch their pearls when we accuse them of being what we say they are. Joe Bennett is this, Chuck Dixon is that, and Eric July hired them both. I cannot be clearer. And again, it's one of those things where everything you say is not going to really matter in the grand scheme because nobody's going to listen to a bunch of weirdos on Twitter who are jealous of someone who's more successful than they are. That's just the bottom line. Reminder that the cartoon is being welcomed. The first pick was let go by Marvel for this message and image in the second pick. When defending himself as not being the political cartoon in the third pick came to light. Okay, it looks like a dude on a horse and a bat person, I guess. Can't really see what this is. But, okay. It's like, who cares? Who really gives a shit? I don't care for platforming bigots, whether it's Eric July or John Byrne. They shouldn't be allowed to spout hatred to a wide audience. So, essentially, Eric July shouldn't be able to have a voice, is what you're really saying, because you don't agree with the things he says, or you're too pussy to listen to the things he says rather than throwing a bunch of nonsense out there. Translation: I'm dependent on mainstream programming. Eric July does not agree with the official talking points. I mean, my opinions. He should not have a voice. This guy says, after shipping, that's close to $60 for a cardboard box, $100 for Dokemon cards, $100 for CGC books. When will Rippa fans realize they're getting fleeced? So, essentially, you're a broke bitch, I guess. Also, I mean, the mainstream industry makes these cardboard boxes called short boxes and long boxes so that people can store their comic books. It's like going to a supermarket and buying plastic tins or containers to store things. It's the same deal. Are you gonna say that those things are a waste of money essentially? You just sound like a broke dude. Eric overprices everything. He is a money grubbing fool with no head for the long game. Clearly he is. Thinking about the long game, I predict the ISOM number 3 will sell even less copies than number 2 and just keep losing customers. With prices like these, it's almost inevitable. I highly doubt it. Just because you can overprice a 100-page comic, it's actually 116 pages, doesn't mean you can expect everyone to buy everything overpriced. It's not overpriced, you're just a brokey. Well, what did you expect? A way too expensive comic book needs to be inside of a way too expensive comic book box. ISOM fans deserve that short box. Yes, we do. We do deserve a short box that looks cool as hell with great artwork to hold our comics. Again, short boxes are not a new thing in comic books. Yeah, I saw the price and the material, and that was a 100% no from me. Well, good for you for being a brokey. No one cares. Nazi won't leave me alone. Woke NPC haters act like they are the victim when called out on their actions. Every time. Sketchy Guy Hands likes to write long cope threads. Let's see what he's got. A Rippa named this engaged in a tantrum with me last night. As a result, he ran to Rippaverse Goalposts. This is what Eric July is doing. Eric has a bunch of fans who go around and harass people online. I'm pretty sure they don't. They use several types of sock puppets and they take screenshots and report to Rippaverse Goalposts, their version of an L's account. Very simple process. Criticize Eric July's actions or book, no matter how small. They would comment. If you engage, they will dance around what you said, or worse, try to deflect, block them, or end the banner ASAP. Then they run to Eric every time. It's people like you who are consistently talking a bunch of noise, blatantly lying about someone who's more successful than you. You do it all the time. I have plenty of videos recording your dumb ass trying to spew bullshit lies about a better creator than you. Rippaverse Goalposts receives these from other people so they can craft a narrative that the comic book industry is afraid of his book taking over. It's not. It's his behavior we are tired of. It's musty and ashy, so that's a little, everything I said about Eric, I said to him publicly. I doubt it. A conservative mentality is that they are never satisfied. They just don't want to be successful. They want those who disagree with them to be crushed under their feet. It doesn't work in the real world. Yes, you win, you lose, but rarely you lose everything. Again, Eric is not conservative. For someone whose mentality is believing and supporting the free market and freedom of speech, Eric and his fans have a hard time following it. Again, we fans don't have a problem with you having an opinion. We have a problem with you lying about somebody because you disagree with their opinion or the way they operate or the way they conduct business. That's the problem that fans of Eric have. But you're too stupid and unintelligent to understand this, just like every other hater that Eric July has. The intent to silence critics speaks volumes, and much more coherent than ISOM ever could. Okay, bud. Again, you have a failed comic series is what you have. So just continue to cope. That's all I can tell you, buddy. Last but not least, we have Brandon Taylor, who is the operations manager for Rippaverse. Quote, ISOM 2 is a failure because it only made $2 million, lol. It's their second multi-million-dollar campaign. Someone makes a joke, presented without Cafu. You can't be a real success until you lose $130 million at the box office. Berserker raised $1.5 million. This should tell you where this stands. I'm pretty sure it was only 1.3. You didn't make $2 million. This is the guy who's literally trying to hold Eric down and shave him like a weirdo that he is. You didn't make $2 million. You will never make that much. You can barely run a website. You sound like you have Stockholm Syndrome when you talk about Eric July's accomplishments and money, but any random McDonald's employee has a more successful boss than you do. I doubt that. I highly doubt that, buddy. The delusion you live in is amazing. That's $5 million plus in a year. When was the last time you grossed that in a year? You're surprised Eric's friends point and laugh at you envious crybabies? I'm just curious why Eric's employees think that they're also successful or talented. They're also successful because they're part of a business that is successful. That's typically how that works. Is Eric telling them to say this? No, I doubt it. I'm pretty sure Eric lets everyone have their own mind, their own opinion in his company. And he doesn't tolerate you weirdos trying to tattletale on people that work for him. He isn't paying any of them more than $100K yearly, selling $1-2 million comic a year. But they act like they're all making millions to get Twitter likes from you guys. We got Lawrence. Shout out. Even if that were the case, $100K yearly would be more than what you would make at your job. Yes, the people that work for Eric July are successful. Why are you tripping? I'm not tripping. I'm straight walking. Obviously not. It's becoming clear you don't know who you're talking to. What a weirdo, dude. Dude, you really need a hobby. My hobbies are vast and varied. They include laughing at self-important e-wages, watching movies, and effing this person. I doubt it. He thinks those are hobbies. I also take photos of trains. I do copious amounts of drugs, and I shave the arm hair off of ingrates to top-tier hobbies. Obviously, he's a huge troll, but he gives money for free just to talk crap about Eric. It's really, really funny. And do those things. It's a better life than screaming crap on social media. It gives you no quality in life. This guy's weird. He's very, very weird. Anytime someone says I feel bad for them, it's very low emotional IQ take. My life is almost perfect. All I need now is exercise, arm, hair, and hand. Dude, you're weird. Get help. Winning. It's like when companies tell the retail employees how the company's success will somehow benefit them. We got this guy who got obviously destroyed in a debate, who pulled up a page from the comic that wasn't part of the comic and got absolutely decimated. OT, but McDonald's sounds super good right now, am I right? And there it is, the stupidest effing thing I've heard all day. Continue crying and complaining. It's all you can do, and that's correct. That's literally all this dude right here can do. Is bitch and moan and cry and cope and seethe all day long until he's out of breath, essentially, looking at him. But all in all, that's all they'll ever do. The Black Lightning Creator clearly didn't want to apologize. It was a non-apology, essentially, because he apologizes to his fans for the distraction, but didn't apologize for saying a bunch of nonsense that he did towards Eric, and that's typically how it goes with the mainstream comic industry. They typically like to lie about other people that are doing better than them, and then when they get called out for it, they don't want to apologize. They either want to make this bold crap non-apology or block people. So at the end of the day, they'll all just continue to be broke. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit that like button, comment below what you feel about all this. Do not interact with anyone I've shown in this video. Subscribe for more content, hit the bell for notifications, set the bell to all, that way you get notifications anytime I post a new video, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace.